Live from a remote studio somewhere near New Orleans, this is Sports Talk with McKinney, the #1 rated podcast in North Central Arkansas. And this week, we are on the road. We're getting near New Orleans. We got a special guest. We got Kerry Meythaler, the Sin Master Mike Kinney, of course, and the loose cannon David McBee. We are on our way to a New Orleans Zephyr basketball game, or baseball game. But the first thing we got to do, guys, we got to talk about the NBA playoffs last night and the colossal choke in Oklahoma City. The Oklahoma City Thunder going down to the Golden State Warriors, Mike.
Well, what about on the positive side, Dave? Klay Thompson. He was unconscious. 11 threes, NBA record. Just on fire. I think they outscored him, what was it, 14-2 down the stretch? Something like that. The OKC Thunder had a 5-point lead. Next thing you know, it's gone. 3-3 tie, heading back to the Oracle Arena in California.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, last night, 2 words. Klay Thompson. He put on a performance of truly epic proportions last night. It was just unbelievable.
It was kind of like our 100th episode.
Oh, I mean, it was a record-breaking evening for Klay Thompson as we bring in our special guest, the one and only Mr. Baseball and Mr. Basketball himself. We got Kerry here to talk a little NBA. What do you think about that game last night, Kerry?
Last night was a must-win for the Thunder. By losing that game down the stretch, it's going to be really, really tough for them to go back to Golden State and win. And I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. After losing Game 6, I mean, that was their chance to me, Oklahoma City, for them to win. And them losing Game 6, I do not see them going into Golden State and winning tonight. And it seems like the tide has turned and Golden State's getting healthy. And just the crazy turnovers at the end of the game by Russell Westbrook, he'll look so incredible. We talked about this while we were watching it last night. He'll look so incredible at times, but then at other times, he'll just be completely out of control, guys.
Right, and they're towards the end. One of the calls, we can't really blame on him. He got hacked, went off of his body out of bounds to the Warriors. Warriors come down, hit a big shot, but he did try and take the game over, which has been one of the negatives that have dogged him throughout his career. But on the other hand, they wouldn't have been there without him to that point. So, I don't know if they can come back from such a momentous choke, but it'll be interesting. And the whole time, LeBron James and company got to be enjoying these few extra days off.
Well, I'll tell you, last night, Russell Westbrook tried to take over the game, but to me, and I'll ask our special guest about this, you have Kevin Durant, former NBA MVP, not even touching the ball coming down the stretch. It's just Westbrook over and over trying to run isolation, and it just seems like, why do you not get the ball in the hands of one of the best players and the most sought-after free agent in basketball, Kerry?
Yeah, there were multiple times where Westbrook held the ball the entire 24-second clock. And really, if he wants to be put on that elite pedestal, he's got to be able to finish games and finish shots there when the game is on the line and when the game matters.
And I feel, in a sense, kind of sorry for OKC, because I really think that this was their last chance for a while. It's going to take a while to rebuild after this, because you're not going to lose Kevin Durant and just be back here next year.
They were able to recover when they lost James Harden a few years ago. He wasn't quite as pivotal a role in that lineup, but if they didn't have Durant, it's going to be quite a while before they get back to this level.
It'll be a bunch of games just like we saw at the end of the game last night. Westbrook will have to take over the team, and everybody needs a sidekick. Jordan needed Pippen. Everybody needs a sidekick, and if Durant leaves, then of course we've gone on another direction now, talking about writing OKC off already. But if Durant leaves, there's no sidekick.
Well, we talked about it before the series. To me, this series was like an Old West gunfight. You had, Thompson. You also had Curry. And then on the other side, you got Westbrook and Durant. And it was, to me, the last stand for the Oklahoma City Thunder, the last opportunity for them to get to an NBA Finals, because I don't think they're going to keep Durant in the offseason. I think there's just too much out there, too much money to be made. And I think this was their last stand. And if that was their last stand, that's a disappointing way for them to go out last night, guys.
I don't think we can write them off altogether. We've still got one more game, and that game could go either way. Now, I'm leaning towards the Warriors in Game 7, but, if OKC pulls that off, I think they match up well against Cleveland, and they could surprise us all.
And the Warriors beat the Cavs twice. OKC lost to the Cavs twice. But it's like I said in our last NBA segment, I've been of the mind that if OKC, kind of like what you were saying, Chris, that if...
You mean Kerry?
Kerry, sorry.
Mr. Baseball himself is in here.
Harry Kerry. Hi. Sorry about that. I'm just down here. I took a drive from north central Arkansas yesterday. I'm still getting the cobwebs out of my head.
Well, it is hard to do the number one podcast in north central Arkansas while driving to New Orleans. I mean, we are on the road in our mobile studio provided by SRE Enterprises, so we're kind of off our game a little bit today. We got multiple TVs in here across the walls that we're watching, while our driver's getting us here to New Orleans. So, we're off our game just a little bit, Mike.
But, getting back to what I was trying to say when I was agreeing with Kerry was that despite those numbers, I called OKC to beat Cleveland and Cleveland to beat Golden State, depending on the matchup. I don't know. I don't know at this point. I don't know if anybody can beat Cleveland right now.
Oklahoma City, they've surprised us all in the last two series. I didn't expect them to beat San Antonio. They beat them there. They take this to Game 7 with Golden State. Golden State's favored by 7 right now, but I think that spread could be reduced here, and it could go either way. It's going to be a good game Monday night.
But you get another 30-30 performance from Westbrook and Durant, and and we could see an upset. I mean, they've beaten them at Oracle Arena once already. I mean, it could be done again. So, I agree. It's still up in the air. Definitely leaning towards Golden State. But I think either way, it's going to be a very entertaining finals.
Yeah, I think we have to all agree it's going to be a great Game 7. And the finals, whoever ends up going up against LeBron, I think it's going to be a great series, but the NBA really heating up right now. Of course, we're getting ready to, we're going to come back. We're actually heading to a ball field right now to watch the New Orleans Zephyrs play, and after the game on the drive back, we might be able to get in another little podcast to talk a little baseball, since we got the one and only Mr. Baseball himself with us here today, Kerry. So we're going to come back, but we'll be right back here on Sports Talk is McKimmie.